In this lesson, we're going to talk about some basic algebra skills. Now, what you're going to find is that I'm going to teach this in a very different way. Algebra is an area that students struggle a lot with because they don't know exactly what to do with the algebra skill when they get it. So let me see if I can explain this in a little different way. Let's go back to when we were in elementary school. And here is a seesaw. And on that seesaw, there are going to be children that climb on that seesaw. Well, this is a really big elementary school kid, and if they were to get on the seesaw, it might take 3 kids on the other side to equal them out. This is what is called being balanced. Now, things can change, and if things change, I'm going to have to make new changes in order for it to balance again. So let's say, for example, another small elementary school kid climbs on this side. It's not balanced anymore. There's more weight on this side. And so that means that I'm going to have to add somebody to the other side to stay balanced. Now, if I add 2 more to this side, well, it's unbalanced again. So I'm going to have to add 2 more to this side. And the right side is starting to get pretty full. So whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other side to balance it out. Now here's what's also true. If I take one small child off this side, then I'm going to have to take 1 off the other side to equal it. If I take 2 more off, then I have to take 2 more off here as well. That's just how it works out. Algebra is all about keeping a balance. Whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. Typically what you see in algebra is that one side is going to have letters. This pivot point would be the equal sign, and on this side you're going to have numbers. So let's look at a real example of it and let's see what's happening. You'll see in all of the examples that we're going to group the letters on one side and we're going to group the numbers on another side. Let's take an example such as this. X plus 4 equals 8. Now if you think of it as the seesaw, the pivot point is the equal. I have letters and numbers. Now you'll notice here it says letters on the left, numbers on the right. Do I have that here? Not quite. I have a letter here, so I'm going to keep him there, but I have a number on the left. I have to move it to the other side. Here's where we have to practice our balancing skills. I need to move this guy to the other side. I have to think, okay, what is happening with the 4 right now? It is plus 4. To get him to move to the other side, I have to do the opposite, which is minus 4. Now, to keep the balance, there's my pivot point, whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. So it's balanced on both sides, just like the kids on the seesaw. Well, plus 4 and minus 4 turn out to be 0, so that goes away. So I have x is the only thing left on this side, equals 8 minus 4 is 4. And I just figured out the answer to the problem. A lot of students struggle with what is x. X is just unknown. We don't know what it is. As a matter of fact, I can take my answer and go right back into the equation. The original equation said x plus 4 equals 8. And I just figured out x is 4. So if I put 4 in this place, is 4 plus 4 equal to 8? 8 equals 8. So that's the right answer. It's all about balancing. Now I picked a very simple equation, but let's take another one. Let's say it was x minus 4 equals 8. Well, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Letters have to be on the left of the pivot, the equal sign, and numbers have to be on the other side. Well, that means that number has to move over here. It's minus 4, so I have to do the opposite, which is plus 4. To keep the balance, there's my seesaw, I have to add 4 to this side as well. Minus 4 and plus 4 equals 0, so x equals 12. 8 plus 4 is 12. If I want to check my work, if I put this 12 back here, 12 minus 4 equals 8. So the mystery number, the unknown, the x in this case, had to be an answer of 12. So I get a 12 has to be the answer. Now, what happens if you have something a little more complex than that? let's say we have something like this, 2x plus 4 equals 8. It's exactly the same skill. Letters have to be on the left. Now, I have a letter here. It's just got something with it. That's okay. But I have to leave it on the left. Numbers have to go to the right, just like up here in the example. So that means I have to move that number over here. To move it, I do the opposite of what it's doing, plus 4. It has to have a minus 4 to keep it balanced. There's the seesaw again. I have to subtract 4 on this side. So I do the same on both sides. It's equaling out. It is balanced. Plus 4 and minus 4 equals 0. And I have an equal sign. 8 minus 4 is 4. But on this side, this time I have 2x. And the questions will always ask, what is the value of x? Not twice x. When something's written next to it, this is 2 times x. I just want to know x. So I've got to find a way to get rid of the 2. Well, it's again, I do the opposite. Right now it's multiplication, so I'm going to do division. And to keep it equal on both sides, if I divide by 2 on this side, I have to divide by 2 on this side. X is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now check my work real quick. Take the 2, put it back in here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 4 more, that's 8. I know I got the right answer. So basic algebra is going to be putting numbers in places and equaling them out as you have to move them. Let me give you one more example before we're done. Let's see what happens on this one. What happens if I had 2x plus 1x plus 6 equals 9? Now this looks a little bit more complex, but it's exactly the same work. Letters on the left, so that has a letter, stays there. That has a letter, stays there. Numbers have to move to the other side. So how do I move it? Well, I do the opposite. Plus 6 minus 6. There's my seesaw. Minus 6. So 6 minus 6 is 0, so it's gone. 9 minus 6 is 3. There's my equal sign. But these guys, they look alike. They both have x. If I have 2 x's and 1 more x, that's a grand total of 3 x's. If I want to know the answer for x, I have to do something with it. It's multiplied by 3 when they're sitting next to each other. That's multiplication. So I do the opposite. Divide by 3. So x, 3 divided by 3 is 1. Check my work. Put the 1 back in. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 6. 2, 3. Plus 6 is 9. That has to be the answer. X equals 1. Basic algebra skills are trying to get things to balance. And if you can understand putting the letters on the left, anything that has letters, stay on the left, numbers on the right, and to move them, do the opposite of what they're doing. If you do it on one side, you do it on the other side. And as you get better at it, you start seeing it's the same pattern over and over and over. All you have to do is look for what they give you and see what you can do with it. Good luck. We'll have some practice ones in the next section.